The power of suffering. Today, I want to talk about the power of suffering. Now, I know what you're thinking. Listening to a presentation might sound like suffering, so I will try to keep this as painless as possible. By the end of this talk, I hope you will have a clearer understanding of how suffering can make you more successful. The dictionary defines suffering as the bearing of pain or distress. Here is a question for you. Who has traveled from Brisbane to Sydney? How long did it take? I assume you flew. Who has driven it? How long did that take? Has anyone cycled it? Has anyone run it? Do you know the distance? The exact distance is 949.5 kilometers. I know this because in June 2016, I ran it in 12 days and broke the previous world record of 15 days. Each day, I ran around 80 kilometers, which took about 11 hours. The first couple of days were quite hilly, making it even tougher. Most people hear about this and call me crazy. Others say I am a freak. My usual response is, I just love to run. For me, running long distances is my passion. I love making progress using only my body. Running is constant forward motion, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, but always moving forward. There are moments when running feels euphoric. Running through the Australian bush, chasing the moon through the trees at night, I feel like I was born to run. Sometimes, I even have out-of-body experiences, discovering deep truths about myself and life. But despite my love for running, completing a 1,000-kilometer run in record time is not always blissful. There are moments of despair, frustration, and exhaustion. There are times when I swear, when I am unpleasant to run with, especially on hills. Sometimes, I suffer more than I thought was possible. And sometimes, that suffering is very visible. And, of course, these embarrassing photos get shared on social media. So, the real question is, when is suffering a good thing? I believe that humans are built to suffer. Struggles push us to grow, to create, and to find new solutions. For me, suffering in running is often the gateway to incredible personal development. It is the first step toward an epiphany or a breakthrough. So, when is suffering good? The answer is simple. Suffering is good when it is over. Think about your proudest achievement. For parents, it might be having children. But parenting is an ongoing cycle of pride and suffering, just like a long run. There is joy and struggle in every stage. Whatever your greatest achievement is, I bet it was the hardest thing you have ever done. Before you succeeded, you struggled to your core. The greatest rewards require digging deeper than ever before. This tells us one thing: suffering leads to growth, success, and fulfillment. Now, not all suffering is meaningful. But for most of us in the Western world, our problems are not about survival. We are not struggling for food or shelter. Instead, we face challenges with work, relationships, and personal goals. This gives us a great opportunity, the chance to choose our struggles. The chance to suffer for something worth suffering for. So, what do I do to get through suffering? First, I do not trust my brain when I am tired. Long-distance runners often experience hallucinations after 24 hours of continuous running. We call them sleep monsters. When the sleep monsters arrive, I remind myself, this too shall pass. My brain might be telling me to stop, but I do not trust it. If I wait it out, I will recover. Another technique I use is separating physical pain from emotional pain. Physical pain is relative. It can be overcome. There are moments during my runs when my legs ache, when I want to stop. Long-distance running is often described as type 2 fun. It is only fun after you finish. But I have learned that we can suffer much more than we think. The Navy SEALs have a rule called the 40% rule. It says that when you think you are completely done, when you feel like you have nothing left, you have actually only reached 40% of your potential. It sounds crazy, but I have tested this rule over 12 years of ultra running, and I believe it is true. Many times, I have been an emotional wreck, convinced I could not go on. But if I pushed through for another 10 minutes, suddenly I felt reborn. I call this reincarnation. I have died many times in my runs, only to come back stronger. This experience taught me something important. Physical pain and emotional pain are not the same. A paper cut hurts. Running a marathon hurts. But hearing someone say they do not respect you, that pain cuts deeper. Emotional pain can leave you stuck in a way that physical pain never will. So, I have learned to embrace physical pain. I invite it in. Because physical pain is temporary. But emotional pain, that can hold you back forever. I think people fear suffering. But I believe I have a good relationship with suffering. If nothing else, it gives me some great stories. Here are some strategies I use to make friends with suffering. First, show up. Most of the battle is just getting there. Fear and doubt can be overwhelming. But if you just show up, you will forget why you were so worried. Second, be the hero of your own story. Think of yourself as the main character in an epic adventure. Every challenge is a plot twist. Keep pushing, and you will reach the victory scene. Third, set big goals. I set 10 realistic goals every year. But I also set 3 completely unrealistic, life-changing goals. Even if I hit just one of them, it is a win. Fourth, break down suffering into small chunks. Running 1,000 kilometers sounds impossible. But can I run 10 kilometers? Yes. Then another 10 kilometers. And another. One step at a time, and anything is possible. Rome was not built in a day. But it was built. Thank you.